California is famous for earthquakes, Silicon Valley, and weird roadside fruit stands. But hidden among the coastal cliffs and forest ridges is something even stranger. Tall, silent silhouettes that watch hikers from the horizon. No ropes, no gear, just watching. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got an interesting urban legend here from California. Something that has fascinated me. I've had personal experience with this, so I'm really excited to share this with you. So again, just be sure to like and subscribe. I'd love to hear your feedback and comment below. Legends, stories, mysteries you want me to look into. I'd love to be able to investigate those. Give you a deep dive into those as well. Anyway, let's get things started. Legends go back hundreds of years. Some say the Chumash people native to the area first noticed them, but their myths don't have full, detailed accounts. Then the Spanish explorers of the 1700s started writing about silent, cloaked figures watching from the ridges. They called them the Los Vigilantes Oscuros, the Dark Watchers. And I apologize if I mispronounced the name there that they gave them. So anyway, let's get back to it. In the 20th century, author John Steinbeck referenced them in his 1938 short story, Flight. He describes a character seeing a dark figure on a ridge, looking away quickly, only for it to vanish when he looked back. The poet Robinson Jeffers immortalized them in verse, writing about the silent watchers perched above the valleys of Big Sur. Modern reports describe these creatures incredibly consistently. They're between 7 to 10 feet tall humanoid silhouettes, often wearing broad-brimmed hats, long cloaks, or capes. If they're not wearing those, people also describe them as wearing prospector clothing or Civil War era clothing. Sometimes they have walking sticks or staves. There's no visible facial features, with the exception of the occasional faint glowing eyes. They stand motionless, always perched on ridges at dusk or dawn, and they disappear instantly when approached. Over the decades, people have reported these things all over California, but specifically over the Santa Lucia Mountains and the Big Sur area. In 2011, a group of local hikers in the San Gabriel Mountains said that they were stalked for hours by a tall man in dark clothing. He never said a word, never followed any trails. He just watched from different ridgelines, never getting any closer, but never getting any farther. In 2018, a Reddit user camping near Mount Shasta claimed they woke up to find 3 figures standing motionless at the edge of their campsite. They weren't carrying any lights, but their eyes glowed faintly. He grabbed his flashlight and shined it toward the figures to try to get a better idea who they were. But as soon as the flashlight hit them, they vanished. There have been sightings near Mono Lake where people describe seeing observers on distant cliffs, always silent, always still, always gone before you can blink. I want to give my own little personal story about this too. Around 10 years ago, I lived in California, specifically in Southern California in the city of Temecula. For those that don't know, Temecula has a Native American reservation that borders it, the Pechangan Reservation. And I remember I was walking around one of the neighborhoods that was really close, right on the edge of that reservation. And I could see out in the distance something staring at me, some black figure looking at me. At the time, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was just a weirdo just staring at me from a distance. And I just kind of kept going about my day. And then I told someone about it, and that's when I first heard about the Dark Watchers. They told me about this legend and how these beings would just stare at people from a distance, watching over them, and sent shivers down my spine because it's like, what if that was one of those things? One of those entities just looking at me. It's hard to say. I've never quite experienced anything like it again. But I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one, that this is something, behavior, or this is a phenomenon that's been happening for a very long time. I want to look into some of the theories that people have come up about the Dark Watchers. Some of the more out there theories involve them being interdimensional beings or spirits. Some say even ancient guardian spirits of the land watching over it. And some people even think they're shadow people, which I could go into a whole other video about those. The shadow people, the Hat Man phenomenon. And it just strikes me that a lot of these things describe them wearing big hats, just like the Hat Man. And if just a quick summary on the Hat Man, people claim to see him when they're having episodes of sleep paralysis. And it's a common feature among all these things from all over the world. The Hat Man just staring back at them, sometimes having deep red eyes, sometimes not at all, always wearing a big wide brim hat. And when people see him, they feel a sense of unyielding dread, like it's some malevolent entity that wants to cause harm. So I wonder if there's any connection to the spirit, the shadow people phenomenon. And again, with the Chumash people, they believed in guardian spirits and watchers over nature that would protect the land and watch over it. So maybe it's those spirits. More skeptical theories include pareidolia, which is the human brain's ability to see patterns in things where there aren't any. Like if you were to look at a picture of, for example, the face on Mars, that's just a mountain with unique shadows being cast on it by the sun at the position. But our brains see a face. And then another one is an actual optical illusion. I'll post a picture of it here, called the Brockton Spectre. This is what happens when someone is standing on a mountaintop and the sun is shining on them and casting their shadow onto the clouds below them. And in California, there is something called the marine layer, where a thick fog comes rolling in the mornings from the ocean. And I've been on top of a mountain above the clouds, and it's an incredible sight to see, just a sea of clouds below you. And it could very well be a shadow cast by a person onto there. There's a lot of different theories that we can look into, about all that. So let me know what you guys think is the most likely. But I'd like to look into the patterns. One of the crazy things about this legend is just the consistency of the reports that people have. Notably, they appear at dusk or dawn, never at midday. When people see them, they always wear cloaks or old-fashioned clothing with sticks and hats. They're not dressed like normal people in like hiking gear and stuff. They never act hostile or interact with the people that they're watching. They'll never chase, they'll never communicate, they'll just observe, hence the name the Watchers. I'll leave it up to you guys on what you think about all this. I don't know what to think. Part of me wants to think it's just weirdos capitalizing on some old superstition, just running around trying to stare at people. But reasonably, who's going to be out there dressed in a black robe standing in Death Valley? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So who knows, maybe they are guardian spirits, maybe they're connected to the shadow people, but who knows. Well, anyway, again, thank you for watching. That's all I have for you today. Hit like if the story gave you goosebumps, and leave a comment below on what you guys think, or again, if you have any other stories or anything, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And again, I just want to leave another plug on my fantasy story, The Mortal Towers. Book 2 has recently released. I'll show you here. Book 2, upside down. Book 2, The Kingdom of Mountains, is out and available for purchase now on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, in ebook, physical, paperback, hardcover. So if you're into fantasy, if you like stuff like Lord of the Rings, Chronicles of Narnia, even video games like The Elder Scrolls or Fable. Check it out. I would appreciate the support. Thank you so much. And as always, stay spooky, friends.